Durak heaves open the stone slab that leads to the complex beneath the herdstone. Meanwhile, the drums of beastmen sound all around them in the forest, and the heroes consider what to do next. Alariel is the first to speak.
I presume we're going in in the hope that there's less of them down there than there are up here.
Yeah, I agree.
Or at least that when they try and follow us, it'll be, a couple of them can get in at a time rather than a couple of hundred.
As the group considers Alariel's arguments, Durak offers a dwarven translation.
I stick my head up and shout at them, "Get your arses over here!"
As the group moves up to Durak, the dwarf peers into the darkness below.
There's a tunnel system down here.
As the group enters the passageway beneath the herdstone, Thomas's thoughts are on the beastmen outside.
And can we somehow secure the entrance so that the beastmen can't attack us from the back?
That's Casper's job, making sure we don't have a fight.
It is, yeah.
Can I spot if there's a button on the other side to close the trapdoor, or what happens?
You think that you can pull the trapdoor down back out over the top of you if you wanted?
Okay, I'll do that. The strength roll?
Yeah, please.
And I'm going to assist, but he doesn't need that.
No, he basically just flexes his muscles and calmly with one arm pulls it. It's a big stone slab, but he manages to set it down with a thumb.
There you go. Closed it for you. Hope you're happy.
With the entrance to the temple secured, the group moves forward. The light from Father Odo's torch illuminates the walls, revealing gruesome scenes of battle and many images of Khorne, the blood god.
Is there any doors or anything in sight?
You can't see any. No, you can't see any doors. It just looks like a.
So Human, do you want to search down your corridor and I'll search down my corridor?
Sounds like a deal.
Right, I'll march down this way, and I'll carefully search for traps or door.
I'm guessing that Odo is following me since I can't see in the dark like the dwarf can.
Sure, yeah. Okay, I take it you're sort of moving cautiously. You're splitting up, so Durak's going east and you're taking sort of the western path there, are you?
Indeed.
Yeah, I'll basically be holding the rear guard there.
Well, I'm unsure if this is actually the entire dungeon or not, so I'm trying to find any trapdoors or secret entrance or something.
Okay. So if you would like to make me a notice roll there, and anyone else who wants to make one can.
I see all.
I see nothing. There is nothing here. There's no beastmen, there's nothing. I think we should just go home.
There's nothing to talk to.
It's just on the gallery entrance with a lot of pictures.
As the party advances cautiously forwards, Thomas, just as you get to there, you hear a click, and it feels like something gives way just slightly underfoot, and you realise to your horror that it's actually a trap as several spears fly out of the wall at you. You sort of duck back to the side, and one of the spears will sort of cut through your cloak, and you have a big sort of hole in your cloak, but it manages to miss you.
Nice. And by the way, I was yelling out that traps!
Yeah, you'll both will have seen that side. It looks like some sort of some trappers got him. You'll hear him cry out and the click of the trap.
I'll go slowly and more carefully now since I know there's traps.
Well, as you're doing so, there's a skull image carved into the wall, Alariel, and you think that it sort of looks a little odd, and as you sort of look closer, you can see that it looks like it's some kind of button. There's a gap around it. It looks like you might be able to press it in.
What do I think it does?
I guess that's repair to sort of try and work out what it might do.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to just give it a good old jam. I have no clue.
As you press it, a portion of the wall slides open, revealing another corridor down the side.
You want to go first, Les? You're good at spotting these things.
Okay. I'll call back that there's a way on here.
I'm basically hanging back a little bit, and but staying within the light, so I can still see, just so I can see if anything's trying to creep up behind us.
I'll whisper to the elf, Lass, do you hear footsteps ahead? I hear footsteps.
Yeah, I think so. Get ready to attack.
I smell a dwarf. I rush down here so that if somebody would attack us, I'll be prepared.
You hear a strange sort of crackling sound, then it's followed by growls, sort of from either side, a snarl, and you hear a whisper saying, "Blood for the blood god," and then you hear footsteps start to move quicker, like something is charging down that passageway towards you.
Well, I have my 2 weapons ready and adrenaline is pumping, so I'll be ready to fight them.
From out of the darkness, Thomas, you see this creature come hurtling towards you. It's basically, it doesn't look like it's actually got any skin. It's kind of red and sinewy. You can see it's basically just blood dripping off it. Its arms, it looks like it's had its hands severed, and in place of the arms have been infused metal. It's also got sort of spikes growing from its body in various locations. It is whirling them around most expertly.
Nice. I give him a confident smile.
The blood-cursed twin blades are ablur as it tries to attack Thomas. Thomas, however, is up to the job and managed to parry all the attacks that come in against him.
I giggle as he misses me.
Durak moves forward to join the fray and strikes one of the blood-cursed. Although it hits him, it doesn't seem to do much damage, or at least the beast seems to enjoy the pain. Meanwhile, Casper charges forward.
I'll see that one is fully engaged with Thomas, and I'll quickly edge past Father Odo walking down, and see that his flank is somewhat exposed because he's focusing on Thomas, and I'll just ram the long sword straight into his side, pulling out lots of flesh as I pull it back.
Alariel moves closer and takes a shot with her bow, but it doesn't find its mark. Meanwhile, Durak's axe clatters into one of the blood-cursed, knocking it off its balance a little. More shots fly in from Alariel as Casper battles valiantly against his target. Meanwhile, the both blood-cursed both try and gang up against Thomas. However, Thomas's twin-bladed Florentine fighting style manages to keep them at bay. And Heinrich moves up to fight alongside Thomas, assisting him as much as he can. With the battle raging, only Casper so far had managed to cause a wounding blow against one of the creatures. The blood-cursed now flank Thomas, cruelly focusing their attacks on him.
Well, I'm overconfident and they haven't managed to hit me yet. I'll just yell at them to come on and get some.
Thomas stands his ground well as the blows rain in upon him. He parries blow after blow, but eventually the sheer scale of the assault, one of the blades gets through and cuts into his side.
As I see his blade sticking in the side of me, I'll just get "Arrgh!"
It seems the evil of the temple is having an effect on the heroes as they become quick to anger and more bloodthirsty. Rain of blows go in on poor Thomas. There's basically flashing blades all around him. He's doing an admirable job sort of parrying off them, but in the end there's just too many. The assault, one sword blow cuts him deep in his side, and as he does, the pain from that, he sort of drops his arm, lowering his guard slightly, and the other one brings his blade down, severing his arm just below the shoulder. You'll see his arm falls to the ground, twitching, his hand still sort of opening and closing and clenching.
And while I'm screaming in pain, I lift up my rapier to blow the attacks against my head.
Hard as nails, Thomas, lying in a pool of his own blood, holds one arm aloft to try and defend himself further from the attacks of the blood-cursed. Seeing his friend fall, Heinrich unleashes a flurry of blows at the demon, hitting it with his sword, cutting into its side and kicking at the demon's chest. Nasty as hell, these guys. Basically, they turn their attention onto Casper and hit him hard, opening up a wound in his chest. Seeing the party in trouble, the elderly Father Odo moves forward. You hear him utter a prayer. He says, Ulrich, protect me now, he says. As he actually runs down and he grabs hold of Thomas and attempts to pull him back out of the way of the blood curse. Oh, and he does it. Ulrich is with him.
I'll also say, if I'm still by my senses, I will help him to drag me.
Got a raise on it, and usually with a pull. So he basically drags you down the corridor. He tries to heal you though, Tom, and he actually rocks at healing. Check that out. Okay, basically just rams your the side of your stump into the torch to sort of cauterize the wound.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the torch on my arm. I just begin to scream out in pain once more.
I move down, and I'll strike this blood-cursed.
Okay, you gang up 3 opponents on this fella. Do you want a wild attack?
No, thank you.
Well, you could actually move right round if you wanted. If you,
No, I'm fine here. I want to protect Thomas in case the guys come after him.
You hit the blood-cursed on its shoulder. It grimaces in pain, but it's still standing. As the heroes begin to surround the blood-cursed, they start getting blows through, hits on the blood-cursed. Eventually, Heinrich spies his opportunity and strikes hard at the lower back of one of the blood-cursed, severing its spine, and it collapses to the floor, 1 down. Alariel lets loose another arrow and strikes true against the one remaining blood-cursed. Okay, he removes his shaking status as Andy can act despite being in loads of pain. Sorry, Thomas, he's a nasty guy. He basically keeps pummeling at you. He can see pain, and he's enjoying the pain you can see in your eyes.
It's fine with me, it's Casper.
Oh, sorry, Casper. Yeah, it's fine with you. You're alright with it. Okay, the first attack, though, he misses you. Managed to parry it. Casper parries the first blow, but the second cuts deep into his stomach, and he falls to the ground in pain. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, watching all my party members fall down, I'll just move up to this person, and I will go wild attack this time. I think it calls for it. Finally, I don't have anyone helping me this time.
It looks really injured, the blood curse now, so
okay.
Hit with a raise, good shot.
Oh, unlucky.
No, wait a minute.
I was dead unlucky, a 1, a 2 and a 4. However,
No, wait a minute. I'm doing that.
Oh, good call. Okay, nice one. Good timing. Okay, would you like to describe your deadly death-dealing blow on the beast?
Just saw him, let's stab his weapon towards Casper's groin. I say, okay, this is how you really do it, and then just cleave up Freya's groin up to his stomach.
As the last demon falls to the ground, the tomb of Khorne falls eerily silent. The heroes retreat back a little way up the corridor to safety, and Father Odo and Alariel helps with some of her herbs that she's gathered previously, manage to band up and tend to the wounded.
I say to Thomas, you seen them creatures, they had swords growing out of their arms. Maybe you can get someone to do that for you too.
I'm looking at the dwarf. That's not funny, not yet.
Oh, actually, it's probably not as quite as because there's quite a lot of prosthetics and things, so you might well be able to get that to happen. Have a blade in your arm. I think it's quite a good idea, though.
Yeah, and then you could still use your Florentine and your ambidextrous and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm just still in pain, a little grumpy.
There are doors with like motorized hammers for arms and stuff like that there. It's crazy.
But nonetheless, after the healing I will rise up again and, we still have a job to do down here.
Odo nods. the thing, it's in here, the brass skull, the medallion. I can feel it. It's down here. We're close now.
Oh, I think you lads better stay at the back, and maybe me and Heinrich can be the forward party now. What do you reckon?
Well, now a handicap can't fight. Is that what you're saying? I'll fight them.
Not as well as you could 5 minutes ago, kind of thing.
Well, I am still overconfident, so...
Oh, that's cool. Go on, I'll give you a Benny for your overconfidence. After the group manages to bandage their wounded, they advance once more deeper into their tomb of Khorne, this time with Durak taking the lead. He searches the corridor where the battle just occurred.
Oh, lads, I don't see any other way down here.
Well then, there's only one direction to go.
Yeah, backwards.
Well, we could go down here.
Oh, I didn't actually see that. Okay. Well, that's right. I didn't see that. Okay.
Your keen dwarven eyes. This is a large triangular room. In the centre there is a stone fountain right in the middle of the triangular room. It's standing in a pool surrounded by a little low wall. There's 4 skulls in a circle cap the fountain, and blood is pouring from the mouth of each of the skull. As you step in, Thomas, there's a sound of grinding stone, and the top of the fountain with the skulls on begins to rotate, sort of slowly, but it looks like it's steadily gathering speed.
Oh crap. I can imagine the blood will be function like a sprinkler, I like then.
Exactly, that looks like if it starts going quicker and it's just gaining more and more speed. The stream of blood that's coming out of the mouths are sort of being sort of pushed outwards as it's gathering speed.
Is this down here a secret entrance, or do we see a door down here?
I'm sorry, it's a secret entrance that I've badly revealed. But actually, I'm going to, since I've messed that up a bit, you can see on the far side a skull similar to the one that Alariel and you pressed earlier, which opened a secret door. So it's quite easier to spot this one as because it's the same opening mechanism as before.
Okay, well, I'm believing that this is a trap, so I'll sprint down and press a button, and while I do that I will yell up that they have to hurry before the sprinkler gets active.
I'm going to basically try and break this thing so it doesn't spin. I'll go back, grab the arm of one of them creatures and just jam it into the mechanic or whatever it is.
Okay, you come back with one of the metal arms of the demons from earlier. Make me a repair roll. It's at -2, but if you can pull it off. Do you have repair?
I've got repair. Got dice 4 repair.
Oh, I won't give you -2 on it. Just make a straight repair roll.
Well, Benny that just in case. Go on, work. No, I'll stick with it.
Okay, you're trying to sort of get it to stop by jamming something into it. The top of the fountain is spinning ever quicker. The blood from that's pouring out the mouths of the skulls is getting sort of much closer to you now. You've not managed to get any on you yet, but it's getting closer. Odo sort of runs through on Thomas's sort of instruction. As the blood fountain spins ever quicker, the heroes rush through the triangular room and into another chamber to the south. Father Odo's going to run, Father Odo. Let's have a look. Oh, he runs quite quickly.
He does a Yoda. He goes from hobbling along with a stick to kind of wah!
He does. Well, his pace isn't great, but I did roll quite, yeah. Well, yeah, he does. His robe's flapping in the wind. In that room at the back, a statue of Khorne seated on his brass throne dominates the large room. Skulls and bones are heaped up around his feet in a macabre and savage tribute. All around you, you hear a rustling, bony sound as skeletons on the floor, the bones begin to sort of mesh together and stagger upwards to life.
Okay, I'll run down to the skeleton here, and I'll do a multi-action. Since I'm running, I'll first make a push it up against the wall, and then I'll slash it or pierce it with my rapier.
Thomas clatters into the skeleton, stabbing at it, but doesn't seem to do too much damage to it. Father Odo, he sort of steps back and says, Father of Battles, please protect us, protect my son, protect this wolf. And he places a hand on your chest, Casper. There's a glow around you. You see a sort of luminous sort of image of a wolf sort of dance around you briefly, and it's almost as if you sort of glow slightly with the power of Ulrich. Now it's your
Cool,
go.
Nice. I'll move down here to the one that's right in front of Ilariel, and I shall attack it.
Casper strikes the skeleton hard, and it crumples to the ground in a pile of bones. Our heroes pile into the room, attacking out at the skeletons, and the skeletons are not holding up well. They're dying in droves.
How much arm do I have left on my left side?
Probably it's been cut off about, say, by the elbow.
Okay, so I'll do I'm still two-fisted. So I will do my rapier, and then I'll smack it with my left arm.
With the stump. Brilliant.
Momentarily forgetting that I haven't have the hand there.
And Thomas charges up to the nearest skeleton and stabs at it with his rapier and swings round the stump of his arm and cracks it round the skull with it. Durat moves to the west side of the room and single-handedly engages a large group of the skeletons. You're doing your family name proud here, but you've basically got skeletons sort of all around you, and you're sort of fighting most of them off. However, one does manage to hit you. Oh, just shakes you. You're just basically a little bit stunned from all the attacks coming in on you, but you look okay. The combat continues for a little while, but the heroes manage to take down the skeletons one by one without too much trouble, and eventually the tomb of the blood god once more falls silent. After a brief pause, there is a sound of grinding stone as two doors on the east and west walls grind open. Peering down into the room off to the right, Thomas, you can see that the room appears stacked with weapons of various kinds, or sort of strewn about. You can see most of them look broken and shattered. There are bits of armour and things like that there. You bravely move into the room. You have to sort of step over broken bits of armour and weaponry. It looks like some sort of bizarre trophy room, sort of with offerings to the blood god. It's like they offer broken weapons, essentially things that have been shattered in battle. You can see sort of blood-stained armour and things like that, where people have been struck and died from them and things.
But we don't see any weapons that are actually usable.
Afraid not, no. Okay, Thomas, you looking through, you find a tattered banner of the Knights of the White Wolf. It's basically an order of knights for the religion, the cult of Ulrich. It's basically there on a broken pole. Casper is probably the only one who might know. If you want to make me a knowledge heraldry roll there.
No.
You've got a headache. It looks like a standard, basically. Probably been captured in battle.
How about Odo? Does he not know anything about that, since he's the priest?
Yeah, okay. I completely forgot. Okay, he'll say his eyes will sort of light up a little bit. He's sort of, even though he's kind of blind, you'll see him sort of peering at the. He nearly presses his nose to the banner, peering at it. He says, "This standard, it was lost in a battle, the Battle of Grimmenhagen. nearly 200 years ago. It's one of our order's rare defeats. It would be an honour to return this to the Knights of the White Wolf to reclaim their standard. Additionally, Durak, you notice your eyes immediately pick out something dwarven. There's a stone hammer. It's inscribed with dwarven runes. Its head's been broken into 3 fragments. It's actually an ancestral treasure belonging to the dwarf kings of the Black Mountains. You think that sort of returning that, they'd be very pleased with you.
I'll pick it up and put it in my pack and go, right, another job. Being a dwarf, I know how important it is to return ancient dwarven items back to their holds. So, that's my plan.
When they've come out, I'll just have a quick scan that there's nothing important in Elven in there.
Okay, make me a notice check there, please.
Looks like it really was a quick scan. Nope.
Yep, you poke your nose in. Nope, nothing in that. It's you don't really see anything else apart from a lot of sort of battered equipment. However, around the walls there are sort of tattered banners of forces and various battles with the sort of corn there. It looks like some of them are old corn battle standards, sort of chaos standards that they'd carry into battle.
Well, the evil standards, we should destroy those so that they can never be returned.
Does anyone have anything oily or to burn these?
Yeah, we've got flask oil. We should do it, when we're leaving anyway. But, I mean, is there any way of making this temple, of desecrating it?
Odo will nod. You're right, Hilariel. It does need doing. I think it'd perhaps be best to report this location to the Temple of Auric, and they would be able to deal with it properly. For now, I'm most concerned about our safety here.
Let's go to the other room and check there then.
The heroes move cautiously to the room on the western side of the complex. As you enter this room, you see the walls are carved with the scenes of the deeds of. You see someone called Kazon Gorespite. It looks like, in fact, Odo will say it's from the incursion of chaos around 200 years ago, from the similar time period as all the banners in the trophy room opposite. It basically is carved with scenes of some particularly bloody battles, and there's also lots of imagery of sacrifices. It's in the name of the blood god. The carvings are painted with dark powder, and you get the funny feeling something's just not right about them. Failure of this will mean that you see the carvings sort of shift, and you can see the looks of pain on the victims of the men in the pictures, and it's really quite harrowing. It almost seems like they're alive, like their souls are imprisoned somehow in the carvings. In addition to the walls, in the centre of the room is a shallow pool, a foot or so deep, and it's filled with blood. A plain sarcophagus of polished black stone rises from the blood, topped by a heavy stone lid. The blood has been consecrated to corn, and it looks foul and noxious and fetid, smells off like the blood in the fountain room earlier. It looks difficult to sort of get to the sarcophagus without stepping in any of the blood.
Maybe I could find an idea how to fix that.
Well, maybe if you can get something and place it, make a sort of a bridge of some sort to place it over some of the pool, you'd be able to sort of get to the sarcophagus.
I'll take the chair from the other room then.
Good call. There's quite a lot of stuff in the other room you could use.
Use the standards, the chaos standards and that.
Maybe not put that in the blood pool. We don't know what kind of effect that would have.
We could use the skeletons, dump them all on it, stand on their bones and stuff.
Father Odo will sort of squint at it and say, "It's here, the brass skull. It's here. He is wearing it." You'll say, and points towards the sarcophagus.
How many tapestries are there?
Oh, there's a good few because they were sort of lining the walls of that trophy room.
I reckon we should tear down all the tapestries. Maybe we could soak up some of the blood with it, and we could probably have enough tapestries to make it so it's high enough to be able to get across. Someone to be able to get across to the sarcophagus and open it.
You could get enough debris to throw onto the blood, so that you could reach the sarcophagus without without treading in the blood. Yeah.
Well, Thomas, I don't think you'll be the one opening this thing anyway.
Why, I could do that with one arm.
Go on. Let's see you do it then.
This is where he tells us that he can do it with his teeth. Come back here, I'll bite your kneecaps.
Well, I stretch my back and I walk on the debris and try to push it up. I take my rapier in my mouth and use my good arm to push it open.
It's a fair weight. You'll have sort of veins popping out of your neck, and you're getting a bit red with the strain as you slide the sarcophagus lid off. It makes a horrible cold grinding sound, grinding stone, as it slides to the side and falls off and squelches into the blood on the far side. Inside the sarcophagus, you see the skeletal remains of what was probably once a great warrior. It's clad in full black plate mail, and it's got an evil looking great sword. It's got sort of lots of spikes on the hilt, and it's quite ornate but looks very functional. Around its neck, and a heavy chain of black iron, it hangs a brass skull. It looks sort of menacing, and yeah.
I grab it and throw it to Casper, just making sure that this thing won't be able to take it.
The amulet.
No, the great sword.
Okay. You reach down, grab the sword, and turn around and toss it towards Casper. Casper, you've got a great sword flying at you.
Well, I'm not that kind of throwing.
Oh, I know, sorry. I mean, yeah, are you going to catch it, Casper?
I'll pick it up off the floor when it lands.
Okay, it clatters to the floor. It's very well made. Durak, just the sound of that sounds like lovely steel.
And I'll use my rapier to try to take the skull head up, so that I'm not touching it, but I have it on my rapier.
Okay, as you pick it up and put it on your rapier, Odo seems like he's sort of recovered his senses a little more. He says, quickly, my satchel, place it in the satchel, and he'll sort of move forward, and is his satchel open? We must keep it safe.
Can we put it in the White Wolf banner first? For spiritual protection?
A good idea, fitting, and he'll open out the banner of the White Wolf to hopefully protect against it. We must not touch it.
Okay, and I'll put it in.
Odo will wrap it up in the banner and stuff it into his satchel.
Well, everyone out of the room. We burn this room, we burn the other room, we slam the doors shut, and we get out of here.
Don't you want to see if there are any treasures in here?
Yes. I see nothing.
The dwarf is like, oh, I must have been befuddled. I forgot that.
Yep, there is certainly nothing.
Nick has a look round. It really looks like the whole tomb is dedicated just to the Chaos Warrior Gorespite. He's the centre of it, and there doesn't appear anything else apart from the carvings of his great deeds on the walls. And so our heroes set light to the rooms back here, jam the doors shut, and make their way back to the entrance of the tomb. Father Odo says, thank you, you've done a good service. We just need to get this thing back to the temple to safety now.
Is it okay to keep an eye on him to see if he starts going strange?
And you're sure that it's safe to bring it outside this temple?
It's only gaining power here. We'd be the safest place would be the temple. We can put it in the fire, the sacred flame. We can keep it safe. destroy it maybe.
Do you want one of us carrying that for you?
He looks thoughtful for a moment and he says, I'm old and blind. It might be safer for one of you to carry.
Well, I'll take upon the burden then.
Okay.
I will now keep an eye on Thomas to see if he does anything funny.
Okay.
I will try to push this heavy trapdoor open. This is where I fail my strength rolls. Who wants to pop their head up and see if there's like 100 beastmen up there?
I will.
You push open
Aren't
the...
even slightly stealthy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, however, he does make a big sort of screeching sound. There's some sort of, must be metal on the hinges or something which screech as you open it. However, you peer outwards and all seems deathly still out in the area around the Herdstone.
See, I told you they'd gone.
Yeah, good thing that Beastman doesn't hide anywhere.
No, they're all a bunch of cowards.
Well, they are half cows.
You notice sort of off to one side you can see Ungor. They are sort of vaguely humanoid, like creatures with small little horns, hiding off in the trees. Looking around in other places you can see there's movement elsewhere, also around the clearing here. It looks like there's sort of a lot of beastmen lying in wait. It's a trap.
Do you see anything?
I'll put my head down and say, yeah, there is an ambush. Do you want me to sort of put my head up there and say it's clear, or try and tempt them in?
Maybe we could trick them to do as most of us have been very hard hurt, so that they think we are an easy prey. Maybe they'll try to take us alive then.
I think we can't stay in here because they could just starve us out if they get more. Because there was lots and lots of horns whenever we came in.
Shall we try and sort of tempt them to come in here?
No, what I'll do is I will charge out a bit. They will come after me, and then you can come out behind them, and then they won't see you. I think that will work.
What? And then we do what? In terms of how are we defeating their ambush?
By ambushing them when they come after me.
So Durak's a distraction for the rest of you to escape, is that what you...
I think he wanted us, when they're attacking him, that we will attack them in the back.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't like that GM option of just leaving me there. I didn't like that.
Or I could, I could make a run for it, and see whether I can draw some away and sort of like look back round or whatever. I don't know whether I'm faster than them or not.
Well, you're definitely faster than the dwarf. But the dwarf has a much higher parry, and if Odo throws his armor spell on Durak, he will actually be able to probably withstand some attacks.
Odo nods at your words. I will bless Durak to do this. I'm sure Ulrich will protect him. And Danny looks a little sad. He says, I'm too old, too slow. If it comes to us needing to flee from here, do not stop for me. Make sure you take the skull. Make sure it reaches Middenheim. It's more important. I'm old. My life is done anyway.
How about we kind of have a bit of a skirmish out there to kill some of them, with the plan that, you know, if people start to get injured, we retreat and come in here, and maybe Odo just waits in the sort of opening of this for us.
And I look at Odo and say that Odo, you are important for the Empire. Your knowledge and your wisdom is really respected. So whatever it'll take, I'll bring you back.
He nods at you and says, well, us children of the White Wolf will always die with the sword in hand. If I'm to go, I will not go quietly.
Well, do your blessing, priest, and let's get this over with.
Father Odo nods and starts to recant a prayer of battle and of wolf and savagery and heroism, and asking Ulrich himself to protect you from the blades of your foes.
Okay, I will do that run out thing and run as far as I can get.
Actually, make me a notice roll, Durak, as you sort of are coming out. Okay, you notice Alariel was indeed right, they're there, but you can see figures and shapes all around in the woods. There's lots, it's teeming with beastmen out here. Lots and lots, not just them.
How many are lots for you? For me it's 100.
Oh, okay, let's say, at least...
Lots for me is 1.
You're probably looking at about 20 beastmen, something like that. Although it's hard to tell because it's sort of, you can just see silhouettes and things. It's dark, and they're hiding.
Okay, so it's actually only 5 per man.
Wishes you could go back and hit Thomas.
Well, it's 4 for most of, 3 for most of us and the rest for Thomas, because Thomas will easily beat them.
One-handed.
In fact, Thomas doesn't even need one hand.
Yeah, see.
You can, if you want, change what you want your plan if you want Durak with me.
Oh no! I thought there would have been just like whatever Alario says, so I thought it would have been okay. But now that I've realised I'm already out here, so I'll work it out my next turn.
Oh, sorry, it was really my fault. I just didn't want to sort of reveal them all on the tracker. That I perhaps should have said that Alariel. I made it more clear that Alariel said that you saw more figures around the clearing.
Well, after all, they are hiding and trying to get us an ambush, so I think it's fair enough.
I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with this. It's my character would basically do this anyway. This is Durak, the Ironbreaker.
Okay, let's go for it.
No fear, stubborn. Oh my god, I want to go back in the temple and hide.
Well, we can still have a bit, kill a few and then retreat to the temple and then do it again after we've healed up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, slight change of plans. We let the dwarf take all the beating and we run for it.
So what are we planning on doing? Are we closing the door and leaving Durak out there?
No, we're not closing the door. Pop up, shoot, pop back down, something like that.
That sounds like a good plan. I can do that as well.
Let's fight back to back and just mangle them down when they come close.
Yeah. I mean, I can do popping up and shooting first if you want.
Yeah, I also think maybe we should go and hold on till they make the first move.
You can always interrupt if it seems like...
Yeah, I'll go on hold then. It's only me that's going on hold because it's going to be all of them first anyway. So I'll go on hold if that's what you reckon's best.
Yeah, I think so. I concur.
Okay, so...
Okay then, Scallop. Okay then, Bill, do your worst.
From here, the scene descends into a frenzy of bloody carnage, chaos and gore. As Durak steps out into the chill night air, he's met by the thunder of hooves advancing upon him from the forest. Alariel and Thomas fire shots into the herd as they advance upon Durak. Durak stands immovable as the beastman charge clatters into him. Like those before him, who also bore the name Ironbreaker, the dwarf stands defiant despite the odds. Durak parries many blows and great axes clash against his armour as the beastmen swarm around him. Thomas, despite only having one arm, advances towards the beastman horde. Despite the pain of his severed limb, he fearlessly cuts his way through the fray to make his way towards Durak. Meanwhile, Alariel distracts some of the beastmen to the north while continuing to fire arrows towards the beastmen that are around the centre. Caspar likewise assists, firing arrows into the beastmen. Seeing the situation grow desperate, Father Odo climbs out of the tomb and staggers to the north of the clearing. From there he holds his hand aloft and claims he has the brass skull, the artifact that they seek. His voice seems unusually loud for such a frail man, and the herd, the beastmen, turn towards them, a portion of the pack moving swiftly towards him. Heinrich, meanwhile, runs up beside Thomas, joining him in the mass melee that's occurring in the centre of the clearing. Blood soaks the earth as many beastmen fall, but each time they're replaced by another. Such is their numbers. At this point, the beastmen swarm around Heinrich, many blows take him down, an axe striking against his already lame leg, sending him crashing to the floor. With the situation desperate, thoughts turn to retreat. Caspar begins to shoot arrows, killing beastmen towards the rear of the group, trying to open up a path for the heroes to retreat. Meanwhile, to the north of the clearing, a beastman's spear pierces Father Odo's stomach, the spear tip protruding from his back. Meanwhile, another rams a horn into his side through his chest, and Father Odo is hoisted up into the air. Thomas tries to make a break for it and kicks at one of the gore. He turns and begins to run. However, one of the beastmen with the battle axe catches his right leg, and he crumples to the ground. Alariel springs forward from a position and rushes forward towards where Thomas fell, grabs the satchel and begins to make off with it. With Father Odo being dismembered, torn limb from limb, as Durak, now completely surrounded, parries many blows from the beastman, his armour soaking many, protecting him, but it's just not enough. There are too many, and eventually, through weight of numbers, he falls. Alariel fires off an arrow, striking down a beastman that was closing in on Caspar, leaving the route clear for retreat. The two sprint off into the darkness of the Drakwald forest, with Caspar dropping down the great sword behind him, hoping that it would distract the beastman's pursuit a little. The thunder of hooves in the clearing trample over the fallen heroes as the beastman herd gives pursuit after Alariel and Caspar. The pack seeking blood and also the prize of the bronze skull, the chaos artifact that Alariel carries. As the sound of the baying herd grows more distant in the forest, Thomas coughs, blood spraying out onto his chin. With his one good hand he searches out a healing poultice and presses it to its lips, his fingers slippery with blood. He then crawls painfully over towards Durak, lifts the dwarf's head up slightly and presses another healing poultice to the dwarf's lips. The dwarf's eyes eventually open slowly, and the three get to their feet and stagger out of the clearing, hopefully trying to reach safety. Meanwhile, Alariel and Caspar breathlessly sprint through the forest, the sound of their pursuers close behind.